against Bitcoin.
It's going up forever.
You're against Bitcoin, you're against freedom.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. We're your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution, covered breaking news, culture, and medic warfare. We will be your guide through the separation of money and state. Today is November 13th, 2023. I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Breaking news, it seems like the deadline for whether or not the spot Bitcoin ETF will be approved in 2023 is going to be November 17th. It's coming up. It's coming up in a couple of days. What are they going to say? Are they going to approve it? Are they not going to approve it? I definitely think it's going to be one of those things where it's like pump up on the news and then giant sell off, you know, because that's what always happens if you've been in the space for a while. But it's absolutely bonkers that we've gotten to this point. Now, we've talked a lot about what the downsides and what the upsides of a Bitcoin spot Bitcoin ETF are going to be. Obviously, a lot more liquidity going into the market. I definitely believe it will make number go up. But like Caitlin Long said when she came on Simply Bitcoin IRL, and Lawrence Lepard, you know, it also risks for rehypothecation of Bitcoin and the selling of paper Bitcoin. Now, obviously, I don't think it's going to be as easy to do than how they did that in the gold market due to gold's physical characteristics and due to Bitcoin's unique ability of being able to be transported and custodied very easily. You know, for pennies on the dollar, you could send it anywhere around the world. You could take self-custody of Bitcoin, millions, billions, theoretically trillions of dollars by writing down 12 words, 24 words. Not to mention, you know, using multi-sig if you want to beef up your security setup. So the actual ability for you to take custody of it very quickly and very efficiently, I think is going to protect it from what they did to gold. But that's not to say that they're not going to try. Like, I think the long-term play here, based on the FinCEN, you know, what's going on with FinCEN, which we're going to talk about tomorrow, how they're demonizing mixing services, but the things are so broad that it's like a single use address counts as some type of mixing. And then the words, or what I would call the Freudian slip from Elizabeth Warren, basically finally saying the quiet part out loud because Bitcoin exposes all incentives after all, finally admitting that, you know, self-custody is some type of this highly sophisticated way of money laundering, of skirting regulations, right? Like, and of course, they're planting the seed. That's why they come up with these words: unhosted wallet, you know, custodied wallet, non-custodial wallet, right? They're trying to plant the seeds in the uninformed populace that somehow self-custody is dangerous. Well, the reason they're doing that is because self-custody is the revolution. And if enough people take self-custody, we'll win, and there's nothing they can do about it. So it's pretty crazy that the date to come is on Friday. But again, all of this would be rumors. All of this would be a big nothing burger. But actually, the CEO of Grayscale, which is one of those companies, they hold, not only do they hold an F ton of Bitcoin, but it's also one of those companies that have applied to file a spot Bitcoin ETF, has been hinting at some things on Twitter. He tweeted it out very, very early this morning, right before 8 a.m. Eastern time. So, I mean, it looks like there could be a potential approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF on Friday. And if it was one, it wouldn't just be one approved, there'd be multiple spot Bitcoin ETFs approved, right? So that's what's going on right now. That's the breaking news. We're going to cover it like always. We're going to analyze it. We're going to show you guys all the details. We're going to make the case like we always do. Anyways, no more delay. I want to bring up my legendary co-host, always optimistic, already smiling, giant smile on his face.
The chat's on point. The chat is losing their mind today. It's totally irrelevant to the conversation. Don't go look in the chat. It's probably inappropriate for you guys at work. But yeah, chat's undefeated over here. They're cracking me up. They are cracking me up. Anyways, yeah, Nico, what a crazy weekend. And it really just goes to show what we've been talking about on the show for months now, that we are in the then they fight you stage. This is the separation of money and state, and things are getting frothy. Not only the price, but everything going on around Bitcoin is starting to become a point of contention. I think we've been talking about this all year, that the stance on Bitcoin from any quote unquote authority figure is the defining conversation right now. Of course, this was all going on behind the scenes, and now it's becoming public, and it's all happening publicly. And this is why I think there is so much uproar about it all, because now finally everything from behind the scenes is being made public and being brought to light. So I think it's more important than ever to do what we always tell you guys, to make sure that your Bitcoin is in cold storage, that you don't have Bitcoin on exchanges, that you are hodling them Bitcoin, because we know that they don't want us to be in the escape route. We've said it before. They don't want an exit route, and Bitcoin is that exit route. And we've been telling you guys constantly, the on and off ramps are the chokeholds, hence Operation Choke Point 2.0. Like, we've known this for a while, and now it's heating up. So hopefully we can move forward. Hopefully there will be pushback. And as an individual, that if you're on the Bitcoin standard, the Bitcoin circular economy already, what's this mean to you? Just some roller coaster rides and part of the Bitcoin fun. So we'll get a wine. All right. I'm getting trolled. Go.
And then that's another thing to kind of bring up, and we'll bring up the latest development on the FinCEN and stuff that happened over the weekend. We'll cover that on tomorrow's episode. But one thing's for sure, guys, we say this in the beginning of the show. It is our motto. We'll be your guide through the separation of money and state. We are definitely entering the then they fight you stage. That's for sure. You have to take action, get involved. Don't be just a bystander looking at what's happening. Get involved. And unfortunately, I think over the long term, I do agree with the theory from the book, The Sovereign Individual, where information technologies and the ability for individuals to opt into whatever money they choose to use is going to make politics irrelevant over the long term. I completely agree with that. But what worries me and what keeps me up at night is the transitional period. And during the transitional period, I do think that politics are somewhat important. I do think that they can make life very, very difficult for you if you are holding Bitcoin and you live in a certain jurisdiction. So unless you want to keep moving from place to place to place and place, it's important that you get involved, right? Whether that is making memes, commenting, making videos, just highlighting the lies and the misrepresentations, like what happened with Elizabeth Warren in the Wall Street Journal a couple of weeks ago. The more attention we call to that, the better we position ourselves, right? And the key is to win over the adoption race. We have to orange pill as many people as humanly possible, as quickly as possible, so that there's enough people holding Bitcoin in the US that if any politician tries to recommend anti-Bitcoin legislation, it becomes unpassable. And then the example that I would give to this would be the gun lobby, right? Anytime you try to pass a gun law in the United States, because so many people own guns, it just becomes impossible to pass, right? Hopefully we get to that much Bitcoin adoption in the United States very quickly that any type of Elizabeth Warren type of regulation, any type of maneuvering and scheming just gets shut down just because it's so unpopular with everybody. But we're not quite there yet. Bitcoin right now is still in the shadows. Like, that's the reality. Like, people know about Bitcoin. People know about crypto. They know about these things. They still think crypto and Bitcoin are the same thing. But it really comes down to us to really educate the masses. And I'm not talking about just me and Opti. I'm talking about everyone in the chat. Take it upon yourself. Take agency. Take action. Orange pill as many people around you. Right? This is all about the individual pushing this forward. That's how we win. We win over the hearts and minds of people. It's not left versus right. That's the divide and conquer strategy. It's really the party of orange, the party of peace, Bitcoin, opportunity, prosperity, versus the party of green, which is a party which is the future they want us living in, which is a party of central bank digital currencies, nihilism, slavery, confiscation, all of that bad stuff. So you got to decide, what future do you want your children to be living in? I want my children to be living in a Bitcoin future. Well, we got to stand up and stand up for your right. Anyways, everybody, let's move on to the numbers. Yeah, I know, right? I love it's a good line. It's a good line. All right, everybody, let's move on to the numbers. We got a lot to talk about. Let's check it out.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Is your seed phrase really secure? Stamp Seed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you need to hammer your seed words into commercial grade titanium plates instead of just writing them on paper. Don't store your generational wealth on paper. Paper is prone to water damage, fire damage. You want to put your generational wealth on one of the strongest metals on planet Earth, titanium. Your words are actually stamped into this metal plate with this hammer and these letter stamps. And once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamped seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin with peace of mind for the long haul. Stamp your seed on Stamp Seed. All right, everybody. I made it super easy for you guys. You could scan the QR code. Someone, Conformitus, I think he's trolling based on that name.
Conformitus is definitely trolling.
Saying self-custody is too dangerous. Okay, well, if you were serious self-custody, I think it's more dangerous outsourcing the personal responsibility of your future, your energy, your time, your work to a third party. I think that's more dangerous than writing down 12 words. If you can raise a child, you can write down 12 words, okay? It's not that hard. And not only should you write them, you should stamp them into fucking titanium, all right? And we highly recommend the Stamp Seed. It's the best seed phrase storage kit. Store or stamp your seeds into titanium, one of the strongest metals on planet Earth. And you can use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the Stamp Seed store, so that you don't have to explain to your grandchildren why you lost your generational wealth because you stored it on paper. Anyways, at the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is 36,775 sats per dollar, 2,719. Block height, 816,622. Blocks to halving, 23,378. Halving estimate, April 20th, 2024. Total Lightning Network capacity, 5,283 Bitcoin. Capacity value, 194 million US dollars. Realized monetary inflation, 1.74%. The market capitalization of Bitcoin, $718 billion with the B. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 5.54%. In the grand scheme of things, Bitcoin is still a baby. Anyways, I want to play you this legendary video by the one, the only Andreas Antonopoulos. He's dropped off the radar, as of late, but Andreas, to me, him and Max Kaiser played an integral role in my orange pilling. I used to listen to Andreas lectures, and they're still up on YouTube, on repeat over and over again, talking about Bitcoin, talking about the fiat global central banking cartel. And Andreas has a great way of articulating these topics. He doesn't script his talks. He does it all off the top of his head. I think he played such a essential role. I know that, a lot of Bitcoiners have disagreements with him because he definitely went down the shitcoin path for a little bit, or maybe he still is. But I'm not going to bash on his proof of work on Bitcoin because it was very consequential for me, particularly personally. But also I think, those lectures are going to stand the test of time. This is a snippet from one of those lectures, and I think that it really, really explains in 51 seconds why Bitcoin is so consequential. Anyways, let's check it out.
Bitcoin is not smooth jazz. Bitcoin is punk rock. Deal with it. It is disruptive. And the reason it is disruptive is precisely why it's so difficult to swallow and swaddle in traditional investment terms. Bitcoin is the first completely decentralized transnational platform for exchanging value. It has no borders. It doesn't care whether you like the transaction or not. It is entirely based on mathematical verifiability. It is the internet, unleashed, unvarnished, unpolished, and uncensorable.
So, and
Bitcoin is not.
if you just kind of break down what that means, right? Because you can't make it go away, because you can't make Bitcoin go away, what it becomes is a forcing function. The reason it becomes a forcing function, the reason the likes of which Elizabeth Warren want to make this go away, is because if you can't make it go away as money, then it is competition to government money. And they know that if this was a fair competition based on Bitcoin's incentives, it will win. Maybe this is a multi-generational thing. Maybe babies have to be born into the Bitcoin mindset rather than what we go through right now, which is a lot of people have to wake up from the matrix and they have to essentially unlearn a lot of the things that they were taught about money. But it becomes a forcing function. It forces people to, or governments really, to have to acknowledge that, holy cow, yeah, your money has inflation. And yeah, we do censor and we do control the money flows a lot. And because you can't make it go away, because it's decentralized, they can't make the argument that that is the way that money is supposed to be. Money can't exist unless it worked that way. With Bitcoin, it shows that not only can it exist, it's superior to their system. And if you want to know why Elizabeth Warren hates it, and you want to know why she's saying that self-custody is bad, and you want to know why they're trying to do everything in their power to make this thing go away, the opponents of Bitcoin, it's precisely because it embarrasses the F out of them. It embarrasses the F out of their system, a system of exclusion, a system of confiscation, and to be perfectly frank with you guys, a system of theft and war, because that is what fiat money enables. Because they could just print the money out of thin air, that enables endless wars. If we're on a sound money standard and the government or a state wanted to go to war with another state, they couldn't just print money to keep paying for the war. They would have to go directly to their constituents and say, hey guys, we need money for this. And okay, maybe sometimes you could say that war is justified because you got attacked or something. And then I bet you the populace would definitely support that. But do you think the populace would support sending billions of dollars to Ukraine? Do you think the populace would support the endless wars in the Middle East? If it meant that they were getting poor in the process, what benefit do they stand to gain? And of course, the politicians absolutely hate this thing because it ends the racket. It ends the racket. If they no longer have the power of the money printer to pay for themselves and the social programs and the wars, how else are they going to enrich themselves? They're actually going to have to do good by their constituents, or they might actually be elected out of power, out of office. It changes the whole dynamic. And this is exactly what the book, The Sovereign Individual, theorized, and how that over the long term, information technologies would make politics irrelevant and politicians irrelevant as well. But as long as the state and the money are combined, and the state somehow has convinced people that they should be the issuer of money, then the state is going to benefit that tremendously because they're the only ones that are able to create more of that said money. And that is in stark contrast with how Bitcoin works. It doesn't matter whether you're the president, the king, the tyrant, the everyday person. You have the ability to create more Bitcoin just like everyone else if you invest in the mining infrastructure. You don't get a special deal. There is no seniorage. And that's what makes them scared, especially people that have been benefiting from this misaligned incentive structure that really hurts everyone. And if you're under the age of 35, you probably have a very hard time affording housing, affording or thinking about the future. You're probably nihilistic about the future. What I ask from you is to not blame politics, not blame the opposing political party. What I ask from you is to wake the F up and realize that regardless of what political party is in power, they both do the same thing. They print an F ton of money, and in the process of printing an F ton of money, they're devaluing your money, and you're getting poorer because of that. Whether you're a liberal, a conservative, a libertarian, shout out Rustin, it doesn't matter. This affects you. And the question that I have for you guys is, what are you going to do about it? Because it's really not that big of a deal. You want to vote to effectuate change? It's not that hard. All you got to do is you buy Bitcoin, earn Bitcoin, mine Bitcoin, and then take that Bitcoin into self-custody. Boom. That's a vote against the system. That's all you got to do. That's why they're so hell-bent on closing the self-custody door, because they know that the more and more people opt out, the less and less power they're going to have. Anyways, Opti, what are your thoughts on all this, brother?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I always have a little nostalgia when I see Andreas Antonopoulos videos in 2017. That's probably the reason why I'm here today. Is I found Andreas on YouTube, ended up buying, I don't know, I think it was like my first $100, and you know, I just love seeing it. I think there's a lot of good stuff in Andreas' old videos to this day. Like sometimes we got to roll out the classics to kind of reiterate the message. And then on your last point, it's very obvious, at least to me. And again, I always try to check my own bias, because I do realize that I do have a bias. I am a Bitcoiner. I learned about the traditional financial system through a Bitcoin lens. And from this vantage point, it's just so obvious and clear that Bitcoin is a superior way to transact in the digital world. And I think it's becoming very obvious to anyone paying attention, especially you guys that watch the show, but maybe there's new people that are watching the show, that we are entering a new saga in the Bitcoin space. We are actively being attacked. We are actively being funded by the biggest institutions in the world, and they do not and will not let that power go easily. What's the saying? It's the oppressed, or the oppressors will not give the oppressed the freedom that they so seek, or whatever the quote is. And that's where we are, guys. And this is why Bitcoin is permissionless. You don't have to ask permission to use Bitcoin. You know, whether you're interacting on a peer-to-peer level with your friends that are also Bitcoiners, or you're trying to get into the Bitcoin circular economy. I say it all the time. I really don't care how you get your Bitcoin. I think the most important thing is to be holding Bitcoin. And once enough of us are holding Bitcoin, it's a lot easier to hide in a crowd. But as of now, we are still a very small minority of the global population. And hence why it's so easy to pick on Bitcoiners, to pinpoint Bitcoin as being something that no one understands, because most people don't understand what Bitcoin is. And so we are in the then they fight you stage. This is the separation of money and state. And so the most important thing for everyone to be doing out there is to be downloading Bitcoin wallets, writing down your private keys, transacting in the Bitcoin network, be a part of that circular economy, and hold your own Bitcoin, because, of course, the few do not want the many to not be using a system that is designed for freedom in the first place. And I don't think this is new. You know, Nico and I talk about this constantly on the show, about the idea of power and what is money, but not, a projection of power that those with the most money will instill their views onto the world. And if they have an unlimited money printer, then they can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And the few will always want to subjugate the many. Well, too bad for the few that now the many have a tool that literally disintermediates the power of the money printer, disintermediates information. And so here we are. We're in this saga right now. We're in that great transition where the power of the money printer is starting to break down. The power and monopoly on information is starting to break down. And we are the frontline soldiers. And this is a peaceful revolution, but we can't stay naive or be naive and believe that there won't be some kind of skirmishes here and there. There won't be some fights. And so we're seeing that the system doesn't want to change. They're holding on to their power grip as much as possible. And they're trying to gaslight us into believing that the way that the status quo is, this is the best way to live, and that you shouldn't be trying to find an escape route, because what are you, some kind of criminal or something? And it's just absolutely incredible. Hence why the famous Hayek quote is such a big one in the Bitcoin space. You will never take the power away from them. You need to find or create a sly roundabout way to do that. And of course, this is Bitcoin. Of course, this is you guys transacting in Bitcoin, continuing to spread the message of Bitcoin, continuing to get your friends and family to download Bitcoin wallets and protect themselves, because those in power don't have your best interests in mind, and they have their own best interests in mind. So be like them for once and have your best interests in mind. Protect yourself, guys. Put on the oxygen mask first. This is where we are right now in the story. This is where we are in the saga. And you can't trust anyone above yourself at this point. Trust no one with your money. We've seen this story happen over and over in history, in the history of man. If you give them your money, they will abuse you. So stop getting abused. Take back your money.
Exactly. Stop getting abused. That's exactly why Opti dated Christy Lagarde. Stop dating Christy Lagarde. All right, everybody. Let's before we jump into the news, I do want to give a shout out to our awesome sponsor, Bitcoin 2024. They're going to be throwing the largest Bitcoin conference on planet Earth, July 25th through the 27th. 2024. It's not going to be in Miami this year. It's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. You can get your GA ticket for $349, an industry pass that gives you access to 3 days of the conference, including Industry Day. That's where your favorite speakers generally tend to walk around. That's the day that Michael Saylor makes his rounds around the conference. You can get it for $849, and the Whale Pass for $4,749. That gives you exclusive access to the deep backstage VIP lounge, premium seating, and VIP viewing area. Also, I got to meet Tulsi Gabbard backstage in the deep backstage VIP lounge. So guys, I definitely recommend this Bitcoin conference. It's the biggest Bitcoin conference in the world. Bitcoin 2024, July 25th through the 27th, Nashville, Tennessee. Use promo code SIMPLY to get yourself a 10% discount on the already discounted tickets. All right, everybody.
The Daily News.
I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Foundation Devices. It's self-custody done right. They built a premium grade hardware wallet called Passport right here in the US. It's fully open source and verifiable. It's the most intuitive Bitcoin wallet designed with a UX reminiscent of a simple feature phone. So you will know how to navigate it and use it the moment you pick it up. Get your Bitcoin off exchanges and into your own hands in just a few minutes. Experience the peace of mind that comes with taking ownership of your own keys. After a massive sellout during Bitcoin Miami 2023, the Passport is back in stock at foundationdevices.com. Bitcoin only, open source verifiable, completely air gap security model, gorgeous design craft, premium grade materials. If you're thinking about getting your Bitcoin off exchanges, this is the one for you. Check out the Passport link in the show notes below to learn more. All right, guys, I made it super easy for you guys. You can scan the QR code on your screen. It will take you directly to the Foundation Devices website, where you can get yourself a Passport hardware wallet. Remember, guys, not your keys, not your corn. Take self-custody of your Bitcoin. Scan the QR code, or you could check the link in the video description. Get yourself a Passport Bitcoin hardware wallet. All right, everybody. So this is the big news. This is the big kahuna of today. Lots of rumors flying around. We'll get you to the tweet that makes me maybe the Grayscale CEO knows something we don't. I don't know. But anyways, let's check this out. This article was dropped last week. SEC's first window to approve all 12 spot Bitcoin ETFs to begin today. It goes on to say, the SEC could approve all 12 of the pending spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund applications within the next 8 days. Bloomberg ETF analyst James Seifert and Eric, why the last names, holy cow, wrote that starting from November 9th in the United States, the SEC has a window to approve all 12 spot Bitcoin ETFs, including Grayscale's conversion of its GBTC trust product in the days leading up to November 17th, but stressed that this was only a possibility. Quote, delay orders were issued by the SEC for BlackRock, Bitwise, Van Erck, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, Fidelity, and Valkyrie at the same time. Quote, if the agency wants to allow all 12 fillers to launch, as we believe, this is the first available window since Grayscale's court victory was affirmed. The reason for the brief window is that when the SEC extended the deadline for a number of pending spot Bitcoin ETFs filings, it selected November 8th as the last day of the comment period. From November 17th, the comment period for 3 filings, including Global X Bitcoin Trust, Hashdex Bitcoin ETF, and Franklin Bitcoin ETF, would recommence, meaning that they wouldn't be approved or denied until after November 23rd at the earliest. While the window for accepting all 12 filings ends on November 17th, Seifert added that the SEC could technically make a decision on the 9 of the 12 applications anytime before January 10th. And here is a great graphic for audio listeners, and it breaks down all the ETFs that are currently being filed, what the first deadline is, and the upcoming deadlines, right? So it says the second deadline, third deadline, final deadline. So they do, it looks like here, according to this graphic, that they have until March of next year, March 15th of 2023, to really reach a, kind of like a final decision on whether they're going to approve these or not. My intuition tells me that if they aren't approved this year, which I don't think they will be, we're looking at Q1 2024. That's what my gut tells me. But anyways, on another front, I find this absolutely hilarious, right? So is the SEC, I think they're trying to slow walk the spot Bitcoin ETF. We believe at Simply Bitcoin, it's for political reasons based on the actions from the Biden administration, whether that's Operation Choke Point 2.0, whether that's the scheming that's coming out of, Elizabeth Warren and the anti-Bitcoin members of government and their use of the legacy corporate media to leverage that to convince the FinCEN to propose these crazy regulations that would basically apply to every Bitcoin transaction. So we know that there's members of the government, very powerful members of the government, that are anti-Bitcoin. And when Caitlin Long, who is trying to launch a Bitcoin bank in Wyoming, came on Simply Bitcoin IRL, she made the case that she believed that her bank, Custodia, was denied a federal banking charter based on an order that came directly from the White House, right? So it's a continuation of the trend, not to mention the Presidential Economic Report that made the case. It dedicated 20 pages as to why central banking is necessary and why Bitcoin could never be a money because it doesn't have a sovereign. It doesn't have a state, right? So is it too far of a stretch to make the case that they're delaying this for political reasons? It sure does look like it. I mean, look at all the pushback that they're getting in Congress. Well, it's interesting, right? If you take an anti-Bitcoin stance, you would think that it's going to be very difficult for you to hire so-called Bitcoin experts. And that's exactly what the SEC is going through right now. And I kind of find it interesting. So the SEC is struggling to hire quote unquote crypto experts, partly because the agency's employees can't own cryptocurrency, right? So think about that for a second. They make you sell Bitcoin if you get hired by the SEC. Do they make you sell dollars? That kind of seems a little bit rigged if you ask me, right? So you can't own Bitcoin if you want to regulate Bitcoin, but you can hold dollars. You could still accept dollars. You still get paid in dollars, right? So it's a little bit rigged if you ask me. Double standards, you could say. Anyways, the SEC, one of the major federal regulators looking to rein in the crypto industry, is having trouble hiring crypto experts, according to a new report from the agency's inspector general. Most federal agencies have an officer of inspector general or an independent authority that reviews and oversees the operations of, say, the Federal Trade Commission or the Social Security Administration. On Thursday, the SEC's division published a report on the financial regulators' management and performance challenges. These challenges include keeping pace with evolving technologies like AI, as well as maintaining an in-the-know workforce. Quote, the SEC also faces challenges in recruiting specialists in crypto assets, which enforcement considers critical to strengthening its capabilities to investigate new and emerging issues in the crypto asset markets. As for why the SEC is having trouble recruiting crypto experts, the report cited a, quote, small candidate pool of qualified experts, competition with alluring offers from the private sector, and candidates' frequent conflicts with rules that prohibit the holding of cryptocurrencies. Quote, the prohibition, according to SEC officials, has been detrimental to recruiting as candidates are often unwilling to divest their crypto assets to work for the SEC. You want to talk about Bitcoin's incentives winning? There you have a very clear example of Bitcoin's incentives winning the day, right? So like, yeah, but think about how absurd that is and how unfair that is, because it's like, look, they don't make you divest out of dollars, right? You could still accept dollars, still accept payment in dollars. You still hold dollars. No, but if you want to regulate Bitcoin, if you want to regulate the Bitcoin industry, no, you got to get rid of that Bitcoin, right? And of course they want you to get rid of that Bitcoin, because if you don't get rid of that Bitcoin, hey, all of a sudden there's going to be a Bitcoiner inside the SEC saying, hey, what the fuck? Why don't you approve this thing? So yeah, it's an interesting dilemma they find themselves in. But again, Bitcoin's incentives rule the day, and all they really have left is coercion. And I don't know how long they're going to be able to keep up with that, because as the population ages, and we know that the majority of the millennial generation and the Gen Z generation and some of Gen X are they hold a portion of their net worth in Bitcoin and in crypto. They're going to be fighting a losing front. You know, they're going to be fighting a losing battle. Like eventually people are just going to throw their hands up in the air and say, listen, this is stupid. Like, what are you doing? Like, this isn't in my own best interest. Why are you forcing me to use this money that steals from me, and I don't have the option to use the money that I want to use? Like, what's going on there, right? I don't think Elizabeth Warren's political stance against the industry is going to be viable in 4 years. I think she's able to get away with that now, but in 4 years, a huge portion of her constituents are going to be pro-Bitcoin. Listen, if you live in Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren is up for re-election next year. I don't give a flying F whether you lean left or right in the fiat ideological sense. If you live in Massachusetts and you own Bitcoin, Elizabeth Warren does not want you to take self-custody of it. So remember that next year. Right? So it doesn't mean you have to vote Republican, doesn't mean you have to vote independent, doesn't mean you have to vote whatever. Just keep in mind, if you live in Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren wants your Bitcoin. Are you going to allow her to grab it? And I think more and more people are going to wake up to that reality. Anyways, moving on. So here is Nate Geraci. He's the president of the ETF Store, host of the ETF Prime, and co-founder of the ETF Institute. He goes on to say, spot Bitcoin ETF approval could come this week. Here's my attempt to briefly summarize the situation that Jay Safard, who we just talked about, all over. Goes on to say, the spot Bitcoin ETF watch continues. Bloomberg's Jay Safard explains that a small window is now open where the SEC could issue 19BF approval orders. The consensus is that the SEC will batch approval spot Bitcoin ETFs because the agencies wants to avoid being perceived as playmaking kingmakers in what will be an extremely high stakes and absurdly competitive market. Issuing 19BF 19B4 approval orders during the current window would help keep the SEC on the path towards batching up all the existing spot Bitcoin ETF filings to launch at the same time. This window will close on November 17th because there are several issuers who filed later than the others. Those later filings will enter a public comment period at which the SEC simply isn't going to approve them until that period is over. Therefore, the SEC would not be able to include those issuers in any batch approval process. And it continues and continues. Now, okay, so this is more of what we were reading about earlier, but let's check this out. So this is where it gets interesting. So this is the CEO of Grayscale, and he tweeted this out at 7:37 a.m. He says, "It's been a 10-year dress rehearsal. We're ready for the main event." Now, sometimes there's that very famous saying, and I remember watching this show when I was a little kid, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Who Wants to Be a Fiat Millionaire? And one of the options was always ask the crowd. You know, sometimes there's wisdom in the crowd, right? So you have the Grayscale CEO hinting, he's definitely hinting, make no mistake, right? So then I thought about it. I said, okay, let's ask Bitcoin Twitter. Let's ask Twitter. Let's ask X.com what they think. I said, will the spot Bitcoin ETF be approved on Friday? 43.4% of you guys said no. 36.7% of you guys are hardcore Bitcoiners because you answered don't give a fuck. And yes, and 19.8% of you guys said yes. So the vast majority of Bitcoiners don't give a fuck, or they say no, it will not be approved on Friday. So that's the latest of the latest in terms of the ETF news. I know it's a bunch of rumors, but hey, there is a non-zero chance that this thing could be approved on Friday, which is pretty crazy. I think that would make the price go absolutely bananas, in my opinion. Anyways, Opti, what's your take on all this, brother?
Yeah, well, maybe I'm just very cynical here, but I don't know. I don't think we're going to see an ETF approval this year. I kind of think that if at the earliest it will be Q1 of next year, or as people are saying in the chat, it won't be until Gary Gensler's out of office. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen this year. Just because, we've been so long in the Bitcoin space, like nothing surprises us anymore. It's just like, okay, some other crazy stuff that you got to deal with and hit the ground running with. But I think it would be very interesting if all of these ETFs did get dropped all this weekend, and they all happen at the very end of the day, Friday. How many times have we covered throughout the year that crazy news stories happen at the very end of the week on a Friday, and then it just tries to kind of get swooped under the rug? So that would actually be pretty interesting in my opinion, to see what is it, 12 plus ETFs or 12 total ETFs get approved this weekend, and they just kind of do it all at one time, and just to see the floodgates get opened up at the very end of the weekend when stock markets closed. It would be very awesome as a Bitcoin hodler to see what the price does in regards to this. Very funny, that story of the SEC not being able to hold Bitcoin. I think that has been a very telling news story that came out in the last week, which would maybe clear up why Gary Gensler has been so negative towards Bitcoin now. He's probably butthurt that he had to drop his Bitcoin as the price has been running, because we know he used to teach a class at MIT in regards to Bitcoin and blockchain. So it is very interesting that there is obviously no conflict of interest about Congress and senators and politicians owning stocks and then them being able to lobby for their friends' stocks and their companies. And this just completely goes under the rug. But when it comes to Bitcoin, it's such a big deal. And it really just shows the rules for thee, but not for me type scenario, and the double standards and the extra hula hoops and obstacles that we have to jump through because we are Bitcoiners, because we have a better, superior system, and because we threaten their regulatory moats, and because Bitcoin is so superior and it basically breaks the game in half, and now it's being exposed in real time. And it just really shows the double standards out there. And then the Grayscale meme or tweet, maybe meme is a little slip of the words here, but it kind of does seem like hopium, and maybe we're reading into it, and it does seem like we're all, macro, we're all wondering about ETFs and stuff happening right now. But I think it's just going to show that, an ETF will get approved, as we've been saying for a while. And I think the common view is it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so we don't know when it's going to happen, but we do know it's going to happen. There is no reason for them not to have a spot Bitcoin ETF. We already have futures ETFs, and they don't seem to care. And they constantly roll out the same excuse of like, oh, it's the manipulation of the markets. Well, anyone that knows how markets work knows that futures are much more easy to manipulate the market with. And yet this is already in the market. So it just really goes to show what we've been constantly saying on the show today is that they don't want the flood wave to escape. Like, they don't want the escape route to be open. They don't want people to know that, oh my goodness, like, this Bitcoin thing is real. You might want to get some just in case it catches on, because things are getting absolutely crazy. And once they approve it, it legitimizes Bitcoin in the eyes of all the average people out there. And so, hey, like someone said in the chat, maybe we don't want the ETF to get approved yet because we can keep stacking cheap sats, but it's going to happen anyways. And so it's going to be crazy once it happens. And once it happens, it's not going to stop. Like, this horse has left the stable. And even though they're fighting it, even though they're trying to roll out, laws and regulatory whatever hula hoops,
it's lawfare
obstacles, it's not going to stop. And this ETF, they can only delay for so much longer. So it's just going to be interesting whether it's now at the end of the year or whether it's the Q1 of next year. It's going to happen, and it's really going to set up for a perfect, awesome bull run. So hey, I just sit back and hodl. It's awesome to just watch this stuff happen and be of no concern to me, because I have my Bitcoin in cold storage. Like, they're not going to get my stack. I'm going to make it through the hodl buyout zone, but hey, it is what it is. Here we go. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Buckle up, because they don't call it the Bitcoin roller coaster for no reason. Anyways, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Kabim Rex. They are the most trusted place to buy, sell, and host mining equipment. Guys, you got to check out their racks. They're absolutely incredible. They make buying mining equipment very, very easy. You could scan the QR code on your screen right now. It will take you directly to the Telegram marketplace, where you can connect with a member of their awesome sales team. They make purchasing their products easy and transparent. You could also sell your mining ASICs with them. They have a vast network of domestic and international customers, and you could sell your equipment directly with them. They make mining, Bitcoin, selling, and buying, selling, hosting, mining equipment extremely easy. If you haven't already done so, check out the racks. Check out Kaboom Racks today. All right, everybody, let's get to the culture. We have a lot to talk about.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today.
All right, guys. Here, I'll go full screen on this one. I'm going to have to clear up some egg on my face for today's show. I told you guys we were doing a giveaway. We broke 21K on YouTube, and in honor of that, we wanted to give back to the community, though I didn't realize how hard it was to just literally pick a random follower on YouTube or on Twitter or our Telegram group. And so I still haven't figured out a way to do this legitimately, where I get you a random follower from all of these groups. So I'm still in the works of this. I can go through my thinking. I've kind of been looking around what I can do. Maybe I have to extend this giveaway a little longer, and I'll figure out exactly how to do it. Maybe I'm probably going to go and from our Telegram group, literally just manually get all of your names. I'll try. I don't know if I could do that for Twitter. 31,000. That's kind of a lot. So I'm gonna figure out a way to do this, guys. I still want to give back to you. And shouts out to Kaizen. He did win the mega prize for us, though we are having some issues shipping it to you. As you can tell, this is our first giveaway without you guys trolling us and ruining the giveaway for you guys. Yeah, it's not. I know if you don't win, it's rigged. I know. I already know. So I'm trying to do this as transparent as possible, where you guys don't think that we are rigging this and playing a little bit of favoritism and just giving it to our friends. So if you guys have any ideas on how I can do this, I will take up your offer. I'm trying to figure this out. I've done research all weekend. I couldn't figure it out. It's not as easy as it seems. I don't know what's going on here. So I'm going to have to take an L on this one, guys. I'll figure out exactly how to get you guys the merch. Again, our grand prize is going to Kaizen. I have to figure out how to ship it to you because not to dox you too much, but it's easy for us to ship domestically. It's a little harder to ship it out of the US, bro. So I still have to get in touch. We still have to figure that out. To everyone else, I guess maybe I will try to figure out the giveaway. We're going to give away a hoodie. I think we're going to give away a free couple t-shirts. So that's going to be about like 3 or 4 giveaways. And I'm going to we're going to do the giveaways hopefully domestically. So you have to be within the US. I'll figure out how to do this, guys. I might literally have to just manually labor and write down every single person's name and do a random number generator. So I don't know. I'm breaking my back over here, guys. Yes, XX. It's for a whole Bitcoin. No. It's for some Simply Bitcoin merch. Kaizen. He's the winner for our big mega prize giveaway. I'll make sure we get in touch with Stampseed and see what we can do. If anything, I don't know. I'll figure out how to get it to you, dude. It's as you can tell, we're not that good with our giveaways. So I still have to figure out how to do this, guys. But I wanted to come up here and at least be transparent in regards to what's going on with the giveaway, so you guys don't think we're just doing this for likes and followers. No, I really want to give back to you. I don't know how to do this logistically yet. So I will I'll figure this out for you guys. And yeah, sorry, Andrew and everyone else. It's like we gotta write like customs and forms to get it out of the US for you guys, and it's just like a t-shirt and a hoodie. So we'll figure it out, man. Yeah, breaking. Opti's mind is breaking right now. So dice roll. I'd have to write down. So I'm gonna for sure do this with the Telegram. So guys, join our Telegram, t.me/simplybitcointv. It's 1,000 people. It's a little more reasonable than trying to figure out how to do it on Twitter, which is 31,000 or 32 plus thousand, 33 or something like that. So until I figure out an automated way to do this, I might just have to do it manually for our Telegram group. And then I also realized I can't even see who all of our followers are on YouTube. It just gives me a number. So I don't know how to do this, guys. I'm trying to figure it out. I even signed up for something. I might have to pay for something to give you guys, and I might have to extend it out. So I might have to figure out a way. And I don't want to like KYC you guys just to like it. So I'm taking egg on this one. I think this is the first time I came on a culture and I didn't have like some actual value for you guys. So I feel like I didn't do my job today, but I'm gonna figure it out. All right, I'll give you an update by Thursday. Until then, I don't know. I'll figure out how to do this, guys. If you were on, I probably should have said this on before. If you're in audio, you can fast forward this part and get to the memes if you want. Yeah, just let a random person pick a random person. That seems fair. That seems as fair as anything else. Let's see. All right, let me see. Ask Bitcoin trivia questions and put the first 6 correct usernames on an erasable spin wheel. I kind of already did that. I already kind of did the chat. I still have those names, and I could add some more names. And I don't know. I feel bad. I have to figure this out. It literally seems so easy. It seems like this should be an easy problem to fix. I have to figure it out, or I have to manually do everyone on Telegram and then do like a random number generator. I don't know, man. I'll figure it out. I'll put in some more effort throughout the week and hopefully get you guys an update by Thursday. I think that's going to be our last free day of the week. So I don't know, man. I'm taking egg on this one, Nico. I'm taking an L on this one today. So I had to update them. I couldn't figure this out. I completely apologize. It seems like such an easy thing to do, but I couldn't figure it out. I legitimately couldn't figure it out. All I could figure out was ways to do it off like comments and Twitters and stuff. But like I already told you, I was going to do this giveaway today.
Okay, so we're gonna figure it out, right?
I'll figure it out.
And when is gonna be the next giveaway?
And whenever I figure it out, the giveaways get the big giveaways.
That's a terrible answer, bro.
Well, we were gonna say 42K, but I still owe you for this one, so I'm gonna figure it out hopefully by this week, and at least I'll be able to give us an update.
Okay, Friday.
Well, we have a guest Friday, so Thursday I'll come back and I'll hopefully figure it out.
So Thursday, Opti.
I'll give you an update.
Opti, but we got to do the giveaway. We got to do the giveaway. But hey, look.
How did you do the giveaways before? Didn't we do a giveaway on YouTube before?
Bro, it wasn't that simple. It was super easy. You just put a bunch of the tags in this random wheel.
I did that. I already did that. But I wanted to give it to everyone, and I don't want to just keep it to people in the chat. But do I just keep it to people in the chat?
Dude, you got to set some rules, right? So
I already did.
So to enter the giveaway, comment in the chat, I love Simply Bitcoin or something like that, and then that's how you do it.
I guess the new rules. It's for people only in the chat. Sorry for everyone that listens to us.
No. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
See, I was trying to do it for everyone, not just people to hang out with us on the live chat. And that's way more difficult.
That is difficult. I see the conundrum now. Okay. Well, if you guys have suggestions on how we should do this, send us a DM or put it in the chat.
Elaine, hold on. The people in the chat are the only ones that deserve it.
Who thought giving away free stuff was so complicated?
Dude, I just figured out this weekend. I legitimately thought there's an automated way to do this, and it's not that simple, apparently.
This is interesting. Okay.
It's actually hard. I don't know.
We have some awesome Stamp Seed merch and stuff to give away, a Stamp Seed kit.
And you got to be in the US too.
And we're going to give it away. And we also got merch that we want to give away too. Just bear with us while we figure out the logistics.
Figure this out.
That was the culture breaking.
I did. I told them the culture today was I'm doing the giveaway live, and I couldn't figure out how to do the full giveaway live today. So I'm taking an L. Yeah. Wow. Now he finally uses the soundboard correctly.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to back some more entertainment. Let's
get to the memes.
Let's get to the memes. We are general.
Wait. Susie Q gets it. Hold on. I think I'm gonna just do a curveball here. I'm not in the US, so don't care. But seriously, can't please everyone. Just pick away and do it. All right. We'll talk about it, and I'll probably just pick the easiest way to do it, and it might be just for everyone in the chat. Maybe it's
no.
It's for everyone in the chat. This is why you need to come to the chat.
Look. We're gonna be doing a giveaway on Saturday. Okay. No, sorry, on Thursday. If you want an opportunity to win a Stamp Seed storage kit, tune in to the YouTube or tune into Rumble and hang out in the chat so that Opti knows who to pick, and then we'll go from there. How does that sound? Good? Capiche?
Sure. Hold on. Nate gave me, it's better to use who is in the chat because of the number of bots that follow. Okay, fuck it. Hold on. I'm picking it from the chat. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm giving it away to 4 people in the chat. We're going to give 2 t-shirts, a hoodie, and the thing, you got to be in the US. Kaizen, I'll figure it out. Maybe I can get it to you. I'll get back to you.
Let's send Kaizen some merch, right? And then the Stamp Seed.
Stay in the US people.
In the Stamp Seed, we could only send it to the US, but that's because of shipping constraints. That's not because we don't want to. It's just like it's fiat stuff, I guess. Okay. All right. So we'll be doing the giveaway on Thursday.
I already have most of your guys' names and stuff. So
shirts, hoodies, all of that stuff, Stamp Seed. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Well, we went through a troubleshoot live on air. That's the first time for Simply. Let's hit the memes.
The Daily Meme Review.
Wait. Nate, hold on. Will this be a self-hosted giveaway or custodial giveaway? I think it's self-hosted, hence why it's so clunky. Anyways, yes. Nico, I don't know what just happened. It is what it is. It is what it is. I tried to figure it out. It's been a busy weekend. All right. Anyways, this is the meme review where you guys tag us in memes. You give me memes on Twitter. Tag us at simplybitcointv. You can still kind of tag mine, even though my notifications are blowing up. Maybe keep it to the Simply Bitcoin one. Drop them in our Telegram group. I want the tweets.
Hey, you got to not only tag Opti, you got to follow Opti. You got to follow Opti and you got to tag them.
Blow up my notifications. Drop the tweet in our Telegram group, t.me/simplybitcointv. Tag your memes, tag your favorite memers memes. This is about fighting the information war, spreading the Bitcoin signal. This is what do we say? Tweets are the bullets, memes are the artillery. This is the way, guys. We're constantly in the trenches every single day. Hopefully spreading the information, the signal, providing value so that more people wake up to what is actually going on in the world. It's getting crazy out there, and it's only going to get crazier. Anyways, first meme. I'm not going to do the audio. I think there is some audio, but it might get tagged. But shouts out to Cooligan Fields. Hey, my cousin out here, Tommy Boy 21 mil, Cooligan Fields. And we got, I love this one. All right. So we have Matthew McConaughey and he's driving and he's like crying and, he's in pain. And it goes, driving home from work knowing you didn't really go all in on 16K Bitcoin. I think we all feel this one. I think every single one of us.
Cash. Like I
was just broke.
I knew that it was like a dope. I was like, dude, like this is like it's such a no brainer. I just wish I had more cash back then.
Yeah. Hey. Matt, is it annoying? No, I on the weekends I just close my Twitter and then I come back on Monday. Look, I got all the tweets, bro. I might not like them on the weekend because Twitter's a headache. All right. Anyways, next one is by Bitcoin Mag, and this literally just dropped right when the show happened. We got I forget who this guy is.
Yo, Nick can't mind. MVP, bro. MVP.
All right, so it's the guy in the kitchen. I forget what the show is, and he's all like, "Hey," and they put Gary Gensler's face on it, and he goes, "Gary Gensler looking at all the spot Bitcoin ETFs in front of the SEC, like, when is it gonna drop, Gary? I don't know. I don't know.
That is hilarious.
I don't know. Good job, Nick, killing it. Okay, next one is by SF Hotto, and he goes, "Wind Moon," and we got Kermit the Frog here fishing and pondering and looking out at the Liberty. Statue of Liberty, and it's raining and he's looking out the window and it's me waiting for 40K. I think we're all just watching that 40K line. Like once it hits 40K, I think it's going to absolutely explode. But right now, what was the price again today, Nico? Like 35, 34, something like that?
36.7.
Wow, we out ya. All right, next one. Alex Stanzik of Cafe Bitcoin is quote tweeting Nico, and Nico's going, "The world still doesn't know Bitcoin is designed to go up forever." And we got Alex here, and he just goes very few. And we got, I think, what is this? Darth Maul? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah, Darth Maul. Is it?
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta edit.
All right, and he goes. He's got the double lightsaber, and on one side he goes, "I buy Bitcoin," and then when the back side of the double lightsaber goes, "I buy Bitcoin at any price." This is the way. Timing the market beats timing the market. Just stack sats constantly, always, and forever. Every paycheck. You need to save in Bitcoin. Doesn't matter how much. I would say more is better, but hey, you need to survive and you need to save constantly. Once it hits Bitcoin, do not sell it. Do not touch it. This is the way. Okay, next one is by Glocky, aka @Cluckies_ on Twitter. And he just goes #Bitcoin with the fire emoji. And we got, again, the classic Drake Hotline Bling meme here. And he goes, "No to adding people you went to high school with on social media. Yes to adding complete strangers who want to buy Bitcoin and defund the government." All right, next one is Boomstick44, aka Joe Kerr, and he goes #Bitcoin. And it looks like a homeless guy with a cardboard sign, and the cardboard sign says "Have fun staying poor," and then on top it says "Bitcoin hodlers when they see someone driving a moderately new car. Have fun staying poor." All right, this last one, shouts out to Ben Jessman. Great meeting you in person, bro. I really good dude. and he owns Peony Lane. He sells wine. He's a Bitcoiner that makes wine, and I think all of you Bitcoiners out there will encounter this at your Thanksgiving dinner. And he goes, a Thanksgiving Day how-to, #Bitcoin. And we got a bottle of Peony Lane, his wine company. And, you know, it's got a little bracket here, which is the first sip of our first glass of wine of Peony Lane. He goes, thank you for inviting us to dinner. You have a lovely home. And then your second and third glass goes, Bitcoin is not dead. No, I didn't use or trust FTX. Yes, I do think it will go back up forever, Laura. And then the very end of the bottle, because you're drinking this whole wine bottle to yourself, this is when all the crazy stuff comes out, and it goes, financial revolution, decentralization, self-sovereignty, unconfiscatable, no middlemen, carbon negative mining, banking the unbanked, balancing the grid, and it's Bitcoin, not crypto.
Yeah, listen! That's called
This is what
blood.
everyone's Thanksgiving. What is this? What's going on down here? Yeah, Star Wars is great. Who doesn't like Star Wars? Star Wars is awesome. All right. Anyways, guys, drop your meme review score in the chat as we cover ours live.
I'm gonna give it a Passport hardware wallet.
Yeah. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you.
That? Look, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. Elizabeth Warren believes that this is a danger to society. This is a sophisticated tool, you know, to store, like, God. Yeah. Anyways, get yourself a hardware wallet.
Okay.
Scan the QR code.
This is the way.
Not your keys, not your Bitcoin.
Okay.
That's my score. What's your score?
Drop your meme review score in the chat right now. Okay, we got some. My meme review score is 2 Q-tips. Brand new,
Are
clean.
they used?
No, you want me to use them? I'll use them.
No.
Okay. We got some in the chat already. But actually, there you go.
Yep, guys. Get the Simply Bitcoin merch. Opti is wearing the classic orange. I'm wearing the sold out limited edition Simply Bitcoin camo hoodie. Opti is still wearing a hoodie that's available. Get it while supplies last. It also really helps support the show. Believe it or not, it's like a crew of like 10 of us at Simply. So it really, really helps us make awesome content for you guys. So please buy our merch.
Wait. I'm going to double down. I'm doubling down on this. Guys, we are the best Bitcoin only YouTube show. We are the #1 Bitcoin only YouTube show. Help us stay on air. Help us continue to do this. The merch really helps us. I will be giving away a hoodie, 2 t-shirts on Thursday, and the Stamp Seed kit. Kaizen, I'll talk to you. I'll get you a shirt. Guys, help us stay as independent as possible. We're doing our best to be as independent media, Bitcoin media as possible. Buy our merch. We are the best YouTube show. No one else competes with us, okay? This is how we stay on air, is by us, you know, shilling some wares, man. Like, stack sats first, support us second.
Support us if you can. Wow, Opti, that's a heartfelt one, man. That made me want to buy some
Wine
merch.
was yelling at me this morning.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I get it. All right. First score is from Satwise Janks. I give the memes 12 ETF applications being approved simultaneous by Friday.
Okay.
Janks is bullish. The P-Man Van. I give the memes me watching Simply Bitcoin while mixing punk rock. Be your own boss.
Okay.
Ooh. All right, I see that. Matthew J. Gives a 1 Bitcoin hat.
All right, coming soon. Tag Weinicus and yell at him.
Yeah, tag Wine.
And tell him you want the dad hats and not just the snapbacks.
Go on Twitter and complain to Wine for any merch-related stuff.
At Weinicus.
At Weinicus. Wine. Elaine says, Lizzie Warren took an axe and tried to give Bitcoin 50 whacks. When Bitcoin saw what she had done, they laughed and counted to 21. Wow, Elaine coming in with the rhyming. Double X. Meme score, fuel cell Bitcoin mining, it's coming, exclamation mark. That's a great score. Roman, Bitcoin expert that doesn't hold Bitcoin is not an expert. Ooh.
Yeah, all the Bitcoin skeptics turn into Bitcoiners if they study it enough.
Woo. Andrew Williams, wine for Weinicus. Wine for Wennicus. Son of Satoshi, one undeliverable Simply Bitcoin giveaway hoodie.
Dude, if you were, Andres, if you were here last week, it would have been yours, but you missed out, you fool.
Oh, man. Okay. Next one, Robert Vermonth. I gave the memes one statue of Barry Silbert erected in front of the Federal Reserve Building. Okay. Okay. All right. I don't know why Barry Silbert, but I will take it. Keefy boy, I give the memes a hard not on 2023 ETF approval.
Hard no on 2023 ETF approval.
It says hard not.
I know, but under here he says no. Okay.
Unacceptable.
All right, guys.
All right, we're done with the meme review.
Wait, can you cue up the fail music? Cause oh wait, I have it. Yeah, guys. So usually I like to add value to the culture. Today I'm taking an L, so I'll figure. We're gonna give it away to you guys on Thursday.
What happened, Opti?
Dude, I couldn't figure it out. It's so much harder than I thought it was. Like legitimately so much harder than I thought it was.
We troubleshooted on air. Anyways,
I troubleshooted all weekend and I still couldn't figure it out. So it's going to the chat. Sorry, guys. I'll do 4 giveaways to you guys in the chat.
Okay. So
apologies.
Thursday, we're going to be doing a giveaway. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I think this was an all-time high episode. And shout out, of course, to our Rumble audience. I think we hit 70 on Rumble as well. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, supporting the show. Check out all of our sponsors and partners. Really helps us stay on the air and keep delivering great content for you guys. But yeah, Opti.
Flopsy.
At least it was funny. It was a bit of it was definitely the dog in the house burning.
Yeah, this is fine. You know, put a red nose. I should have put a red nose on like a clown.
Oh man, it's okay.
Cheers of a clown.
Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Consider subscribing if you feel like we provided you value. But the number one thing you could do to push the peaceful Bitcoin revolution forward is share this content. In fact, share all Bitcoin content. Don't be exclusive. Be inclusive. Share Bitcoin art, share Bitcoin music, share Bitcoin culture. We must take over the culture. You take over the culture, that's how you win the politics game. Politics is downstream from culture after all. So that's how we win. We have to really change the minds of people to stop infighting, because it's not left versus right. It's really just the party of orange versus the party of green, the party of CBDCs, slavery, versus the party of freedom, the party of Bitcoin. And all those other things are just distractions. It's a divide and conquer machine. It doesn't matter if we vote Republican or Democrat. They essentially do the same exact thing. Anyways, guys, we love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. Peace out, everybody.